Are you looking to learn how to make a needle felted turkey? If so, then you're on the right video because today I'm going to share with you everything you need to know to make one and more. And welcome to today's video, how to make a needle felted turkey. My name is Iceland and I'll be your fiber artist host. And on this channel, Snowflake Forest Felting, I share needle felting videos, have needle felting tutorials like this one, and share product reviews from time to time. So if you're new and this interests you, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know more about anything you see on this channel, be sure and check the links down in the description below this video or leave a comment. I'd love to connect with you there. And as always, if you think these videos may help someone, please share them where you can. Now, let's show you everything you're going to need to make your needle felted turkey. You're going to want your felting surface. I love to use these foam ones to protect my needles and the area that I'm working on. You're going to need your needle felting needles, your scissors to trim up your project when you're done, tape measure to help you know the size of your project if there's a certain size you're working towards, and then the wool that you're going to want is some core wool or just some bone colored wool. This usually runs a lot less money compared to the colored wools, and you'll be using that on the inside of the turkey. You're going to need your feather colors, so I have some for the body, the tail, and the wings, some black wool for the top of the turkey. I have two different shades here of black. This one has a little bit more of a shimmery look, which I thought would be nice for the feathers to keep them looking a little silky. And then the colors of wool for the turkey head. I have this peachy neutral color here, some red, and then a light blue. And remember, I'm going to have all this linked down in the description below for you. You can go check out more there. Now, let's get started felting. To begin, take out your needle felting needle. Put it in your surface. If you have a foam like I do, it's a great place for it to hold while you're working. Then you're going to take that core colored wool and you're going to want to roll it into a ball for the body of your turkey. When you scrunch it all down, it's going to give you an idea of how big it's going to be. I usually make my projects around 4 inches in size. I'm going to want this body under 2 to make room for the head and the back feathers, because those are going to add to the size as well. Once you've got your wool balled together, go ahead and take your needle and start piercing it, going straight in and out. You don't want to go at an angle that will risk breaking your needle into the project. And then you're going to continue to just felt, just like so, until it's completely firm. If you need to add any wool, just do so. And you're going to felt it from all angles. This will help make it round and smooth. If you need to add any wool, like here, this is probably going to be a little bit of an indent. You can add some over it and smooth it out. You're going to want to have patience with this part. This is very time consuming. Here you can see a little closer. You're not going to want a perfect round ball, kind of egg shape and oblonged. So if you want to pick one end to work on to narrow it down some, where the head will attach, and then the back end where it will be larger. And if you need to add any wool to the one end to help make that end a little bit larger, you can. So again, just keep felting it from all angles to make it nice, round, and smooth. Now you're going to want to pick what's going to be the base of your turkey, where it will rest. You can start to make that a little bit of a flatter surface, and then the back of the turkey gets wider and those black feathers just really sit on the top. So you'll want to take a little more of your core wool, smooth it out, but bunch it towards the top. Start attaching it. Kind of like so, but this is going to felt down. So you'll want this to be smooth up into it. So as you're felting, if it's still not quite the right size you want it, don't be afraid to just keep adding more wool till it becomes the size you want it. Turkeys are nice and plump, so I want to make sure this one looks that way. you finished felting this nice and firm, it's going to be time to start wrapping it. So go ahead and take the color that you want for the body, a gray tone, or if you have a mesh or a wool roving that has a variation of color in it like so, it's going to work best. You're going to cover it completely, and you want to cover it well so you don't see any of the bone colored wool coming through. And then just continue this until it's completely covered. The very top part, you're going to be adding the black color on, so if you don't want to cover that in the wool to save this other wool, that's going to be totally fine. Alright, now you can go ahead and take some of your black wool and cover around the very top of your turkey. Alright, once you have that pretty well felted, you can go ahead and put it aside. And then if you need to change your surface, start working with the color, we're going to start working on the back feathers now. This is going to be one solid piece. It's going to fit around the back like so. You're going to be doing it in multiple colors. You're going to want it flat and even. So go ahead and take your turkey body and shape your wool around it. From behind. Need to grab a little more to even it out. And then next, take some of your lighter color. You're going to create a little bit more of a narrow tip and felt it right on as well, completely around. Already starting to look like a turkey. Check your size if you need to. Right in there in the height that I want it. Alright, then continue felting this until it is completely firm and felted too. And then when you come at it from the back side, just flip it like so, and then felt this side too. As you're doing this, if you're starting to see any holes because it's just too thin, just add a little wool to even it out. Now go ahead and take a little bit more of your black, and where the two colors meet, put a very thin cobweb-like layer, just like so. When you felt this, it's going to want to bunch into one spot, so be sure to not felt it more than once. You're really going to want to felt all over to spread it out a little bit, and then take a bit of the lighter color, do a thin cobweb-like layer over it so it's not just pure black. And then take this color and cover over it some. Felt that on. And if you have even another color, grab some of it and make a line arched around. And then you can even take this same color and go around the edge. Like so, and then continue felting it. This is definitely looking pretty rough still. And then even take a few strands of this and fill up and out through it. These don't have to be exactly the same. In fact, you'll want some that are a little thicker than the others. Again, it doesn't need to be a very large amount. Just like that, and then continue felting it. This is nice because when you flip it this way, these fibers are going to punch through that color and it'll make it look more meshed and blended, which will help give it that feathery look. So once you have this pretty good and felted, it's going to be time to work on the side feathers. So you can go ahead and put this aside. You're going to take your darker gray. You're going to want to create the feathers for each side at the same time, so that way they match and have the same amount of wool. So you're going to felt them into a little bit of a teardrop shape. Going to flip it back and forth because these are going to be pretty flat. And then just keep doing this until they are completely felted. Alright, so while you're felting your feathers, you're going to want them to have a little bit of a ruffled edge. So to do that, before it's completely felted, just go on and felt extra deep and start shaping it. And then just take a hint of the black, cobweb it out like you did on the tail feathers, and felt that on, just like so, to give it a little bit of depth and a more of a feather type look. Alright, once you've finished felting these feathers, go ahead and set them aside. And now you're going to felt the next set of feathers. These ones are going to be smaller and shorter and not quite as triangle shaped. They're almost felted. Go ahead and take some of the tail feather color. Just take a little bit of the cobweb effect. Place it over the top. And then you can put this color in a line. Felt it on like so. And then continue felting this until it's completely felted on. And just wrap those ends around to the other side. There's a look up close. You're also going to want to make the edge ruffled as well to help give it that feather look. Alright, then once you finish felting those feathers, go ahead and set them aside as well. And it's time to start working on your turkey head. So go ahead and grab a little bit of the wool for the head. Leave a little bit of the wool loose that you're going to use to attach it on. And then you're just going to need to create a head that kind of comes onto itself. So hook it over. And then just continue felting this until it's nice and firm. you're going to want to take a little bit of the blue and you're just going to put a tiny amount on each side of his face. Make sure each side is even. If you have to add a little bit more. Now go ahead and take some of your gold color to make his beak. Pinch a little bit of it that you're going to use for attachment, and then felt the rest into a little bit of a triangle or a point. Just keep flipping it back and forth until it's nice and felted. Alright, if you need to rub it a little bit between your fingers, help shape it, smooth it out, go ahead and do so. Then you're going to take your scissors, trim in a little bit of a hole. So you're going to take the excess wool that you didn't felt and shove that beak right down in there. Make it lay down a little bit. Then there you have a beak on your turkey head. Now take a little bit of the red. This isn't going to take very much. Go ahead and just roll it between your fingers, kind of in an oblong shape. You want these to be the same amount and as even as possible. You want them to be a little bit of a teardrop shape, and felt them some. Even a little piece that will be what you use to attach. And roll them back between your fingers some more. That'll help felt in the fibers. Alright, and then they'll be ready to attach. Take your scissors and right in the jawline, trim a little hole on each side, and that's going to be where you stuff in the part of the wool that you didn't felt. Just like that. You can see here some of the red came through on the back, so trim that away, and then take a little bit of the wool to cover over it. Tuck those fibers back down in some if you can. Felt this all over so it doesn't create a bunched area for you. That way it just smooths right out into the rest of the project. Use as much wool as it takes. Then just trim away any extra fibers. Then you're going to want to take a little bit of your black for the eyes, roll it into a little ball, and you're going to want to felt these evenly onto each side. Make sure they're nice and securely on, just like that. Alright, now grab your turkey body, and for your feathers here, you're going to want to make this look feathery. So go in, if you haven't yet already, and felt it down some. There you go, like so. And then you're going to attach the neck. Go ahead and cut into the front where you're going to felt it down in, and then pierce that wool right down into that spot. Along it some to secure it even more. If you need to use any of the wool, bone is still coming through, just add some right on in. Like that. Now grab the wings. And you're going to felt the darker one on first. Just right at the tip, attach it. Felting it straight on and all over. And then take the next feather and attach it right on top, but at a little bit of a different angle. Whereas this one is going back, this one is going to go more straight down. Felt it all over to make it nice and secure. And then repeat on the other side. When you do this, make sure they're evenly placed on so you don't have lopsided wings. Now you're almost done. Look at that. Looking a lot like a turkey. On the top part, it's black to give it more of a feathery look. And even yet another layer. Go ahead and take some of your other black and add it right along. You don't have to go and cover the initial black in the first place, because this will really help give you that layered feather looks that turkeys have. Felt that all right around the top, nice and even. You need to take some of the other wool, give this line even a little thicker, because you can see that that one has kind of become hidden down in there. Add it on as well. Now you want to go all over your turkey, make sure everything is smooth and felted really well and even. If you need to trim away any fibers, go ahead and do so. When you're trimming, you're going to want to take it and do it over a trash can, because you don't want all this mess in your workspace, and in a well-lit area works nice too. Just make sure everything is really nice and felted. Take a little bit of this wool to tone down that brightness of the gold. Just cobweb it along there. Alright, and just like that, you have a needle felted turkey. Let me show it to you a little closer here. Alright, that's it. That's everything you need to know to make a needle felted turkey and be a fiber artist too. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share these videos where you can, and if there's something you'd like to see me felt next, drop it down in the comments below. I might just make it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Happy felting!